Yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're finally reviewing Boruto episode 126, and we've gone back into the slice of life categories with these episodes, and it looks the same as well for next week's episode. However, although it may sound like a negative by saying that, this episode wasn't. This sort of fell into the same category as I think the Parent and Child Day Slice of Life episodes we got a few months back now. In fact, quite a while ago now. How, although they were Slice of Life, they had purpose to them, they had meaning to them, they were cute, they were cool, they were just little things like that. Although they may seem meaningless in terms of reviewing an episode, really in terms of the basics, it was a very enjoyable episode, and that's the number one thing more than anything. You could have a complex character, brilliant animation, anything, the most complex story ever told in the human race ever. If it's not enjoyable, I will not watch it, and this episode was enjoyable. I think by Boruto standards, I'd actually give it a 4, which is something I didn't think I would be giving an episode like this, but I've got to do it. I think Himawari is a great... she's not a great character right now. She's a fan favourite. She reminds me a little bit of Nezuko from Demon Slayer, where she's a bit cute, she's a fan favourite, but she doesn't really do a great deal, or at least she hasn't done so far. And I think when you think back to Ikimoto saying how nothing's planned for Himawari's character as of right now, I mean, obviously that interview was at the beginning of the year, so maybe between now and then something has changed and they do have something planned for her character, but the fact that she's clearly not a number one focus in the story, I think that they should take the time to actually focus more on a character in the anime, because if it's not going to be this huge focal point in the manga, then like they've done with many other characters and all the other side characters that they've expanded on in the anime, they should start doing the same with Himawari, especially now that her Byakugan is activated again. Because I remember very early on in the series, I believe that, is it Hiyashi? The Hyuga head, he said, if her Byakugan ever awakens, you bring her straight here. Now, obviously, Boruto was the only one that saw the Byakugan, along with also Shukaku, but it's just whether or not the writers pick up on what they've written earlier on at the beginning of the story with Himawari and the Byakugan and actually taking her to the Hyuga family or not, because if they do, that will be incredible for her character, and it's something I really, really, really want to see, because she needs more screen time now. I feel like the writers write her in a way that make her seem a lot younger than she actually is in the story. She's at an age where really she should be fighting to become a genin at this point, and she's not. But I think it was really great to see her Byakugan and Himawari more focused on her character again, and it was just adorable, absolutely adorable, seeing her chilling out with Shukaku. And you guys quite clearly agree, as 53% of you guys actually said that this was a 5-star chapter, so 5-star episode even. So yeah, there's not much more that can be said apart from, like I said, it was extremely enjoyable, and I feel like it was a breath of fresh air for the community, one that the community didn't really know that they needed. So I think the first thing I want to talk about, so True G, it says, okay, Hubert 1 star, we need to talk about your mentality at the minute. But to be honest, I think Himawari might become a Jinchuriki. Now, Himawari becoming a Jinchuriki is something the fan bases wanted and speculated and talked about ever since the series began. Ever since her character came into existence, she's always been linked with that Jinchuriki role for some reason. Now, I don't know what it is, but I want to see it. And seeing this episode, and I don't think it's likely, and I don't know how politically it would work in the Naruto universe, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But what if she became Shukaku's Jinchuriki? Now, like I said, I don't know how that would politically work in the Naruto universe, because Shukaku, I believe, belongs to the Sand, and it's not like she's in Shikadai's situation where she actually has tie-ins with the Sand Village, because she doesn't. She's Leaf. She's Konoha. So Kurama maybe, but I can't see her becoming Kurama's Jinchuriki. So I can't see anyone other than Naruto ever being Kurama's Jinchuriki in the story, because it just wouldn't work in my opinion. I think if you're going to make her a Jinchuriki, you have to make her a different Jinchuriki. Shikaku, I think, would be an interesting one, especially as they've already started to build a relationship between the two. I think it would mean the most if those two were actually bonded together, because I don't know, it's just something I'd love to see. It'd be very, very left field, something you wouldn't see coming, but I think could potentially work if done well. KSF Superstar says, these are the slice of life episodes I enjoy. Meaningful ones, character development galore. We're getting clues piece by piece as to what the Otsutsuki are up to, plus foreshadowing that Boruto's sister may become essential to the plot further and down in the future. Much improvements from the writers, bringing up nostalgic moments. It proved effective. Solid 4 out of 5. So yeah, going back to what I said before, she may actually have something quite significant now planned in the story for her character. And I hope she does, because like I said, I do enjoy Himawari, and I think she's a character absolutely blessed with immense potential in the story that as of right now hasn't been touched at all, really. But I think when you look at the character development, and especially the Byakugan, which I'm sure many people are going to bring up the Byakugan, because I feel like now we've finally got confirmation on what sort of awakens her Byakugan. And I think the most interesting thing of everything now, which makes me more intrigued about her character in general, is when she is in this Byakugan state, she has a complete switch up in personality. She has a split personality deficit. Is that the right word to use? I don't think it is, but it's incredibly interesting. There's no denying that she does have one, because when she uses her Byakugan, she's completely different. She has eyes only for the enemy, or what is the enemy in her eyes, when she does that incredibly badass lock-on movement. And then she is just, no matter what, she charges towards her enemy, and she is quite aggressive. In fact, very, very aggressive. And her skills are just heightened to the nth degree, really. And I find it really interesting because she doesn't remember any of it afterwards. So I think if they expand on that, maybe her becoming a Jinchuriki as well, all of these little things, you start piecing them together, and you've took Himawari from this cute little side character, which just makes the fandom go, oh yeah, it's Himawari, more screen time for Himawari, who, by the way, if I didn't think it appeared as infrequent as she did, she wouldn't really be that much of a fan favourite. But if she did start to appear more frequently, and you did incorporate these different potential things you could do with the character, then you've got a character who's shot up from just being a cute little fan service figure to one of the most interesting characters in the entire anime. And then it's quite a long one, but I think the last thing I'm going to cover in this review is the King of Games. It says, I am of split mind about this episode. On one hand, it's an episode where nothing significant happened. At first glance, it was an episode that was really tiresome and at this stage felt really out of place. But there were a number of enjoyable and funny moments. Even if I wished we got plot progression instead, and while some exciting moments seemingly took place, particularly Himawari activating her Byakugan, which is cool, but I am skeptical of the significance of that considering she isn't a shinobi in the future as far as we know. Himawari isn't in the academy and is at an age where it's too late for her to enroll and end up becoming a genin. But I don't know, she might train with the Hyuga clan and get involved with the clan structure. That might be interesting. And them setting a 5 Kage summit is also interesting. The episode wasn't bad, it just didn't capture me. Now, I think you sort of really did sum it up. It was a very good episode. I think in the whole infrastructure of what's currently going on, it did feel a little out of place. I thought maybe a little bit too carefree on the back of an Otsutsuki invasion, hitman mission, if that's what you want to call it. Maybe it is out of place. I'm not going to take that away from the episode too much because it still was enjoyable. But I do see where you're coming from. And again, the points you made with Himawari, I completely agree. If they do this anime episode and then they don't touch Himawari for another year, and then when we do finally see Himawari again, it's her in a similar vein of activating a Byakugan just to get the cool factor reaction from the fanbase again, then at that point, I do see what you mean. I feel like we got the Himawari Byakugan with the Hokage inauguration. That, funny comedy, maybe didn't sit well with everyone in the context of things, understandable. Then we got this one which sort of followed up from it. But if I don't keep taking it in in their stride, and if they just sort of do the same gag again in a year's time or whenever it is, it will start to become a bit dry. So that's why I beg that actually take the time now to focus on her character, because like I said, she's blessed with immense potential. Some of the largest potential in the entire anime, but none of it has been touched up yet, which is unfortunate. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad and help us grow to 3k by the end of the year if you can. Leave all your thoughts and opinions as well on this episode, as always, in the comment section down below. I'll be seeing you guys in another video, but until then, peace. おびき寄せられた神々の化身恐れを知らぬ剣が貫く目指す場所とはまだ見ぬ定め近づいてくる決戦の時